We are all here today to have a conversation with you, but with each other about FREA, finding recovery and empowerment from abuse. I'm Dr. Kristen Miller. I'm a psychologist, and I've spent my whole life dealing with trauma and the impact of trauma, and have been on this amazing team with all of these beautiful people that you're going to get to hear from today for many, many years. Gosh, I think it's been almost 8 years for me. And I just wanted to help you understand a little bit about how we are supporting people to find their mental health after they have sustained trauma. Abuse is a big trauma to the system. It impacts us in so many different ways and causes us to pull away from people who have been abusive to us, and sometimes pull totally away from life. And it brings up all kinds of really difficult emotions. And sometimes we pull away from ourselves too, because we just don't want to feel that way anymore. And so then everything is lost. Our magnificent inner being is lost, and we lose the connection with that inner being. And pretty soon we believe that all that exists is this uncomfortable, abusive life and this reactivity inside. But here at FREA, we've all been working together to use energy psychology to help you to come to meet yourself, to connect with your beautiful, magnificent, essential being that might and probably is at times totally smeared with trauma and reactivity. And energy psychology is amazing as a tool that each and every one of us can use on our own to help us to release that cloak of trauma, that reactivity, so that we can come into the world as this amazing being that we all are. And we just use really simple techniques, and we probably won't go into all the techniques today, but really it's just a really simple process. We connect, we know how we're feeling inside, and we breathe into that feeling, or we tap a little on different points in our body while we attune to that feeling. And in a while, that feeling will calm and drop away. And what will be left is your magnificent presence. And I'm going to give it over to you, David. And please introduce yourself and let us know all about you.
All about me. Right, thank you, Kristen. I'm David Higness, and I'm a practitioner from the UK, as you just might have guessed from the voice. I'm retired now from employment in mental health social work. And I discovered energy psychology, and I believe it was 2005. And it felt like Christmas and birthday both together, being able to assist people, be of service to them without them spending years and years and years in therapy, retelling and retelling their story, often to less than no good purpose. In fact, sometimes harmful. This just really, well, it is like Christmas and birthday together. And I've followed it with passion ever since, in many forms. And that, I think, is me.
Well, thank you, David. It's been nice to be reminded of Christmas and presents and delightful things like that. What I say to people is that when I discovered it, I felt like a duck that took to water, right? Like I was home. I was really, really home. So my name's Dr. Holly Timberlake. I am a trauma therapist and a developmental trauma therapist. I've been doing energy psychology work since 1999, thanks to Robin, who was the one who introduced me to it back then. And I think one of the things that I want to say about it, kind of following up with what David was saying about sometimes therapy can be harmful. If a therapist can help you get in touch with the pain, but isn't able to help you resolve it, you can walk out of a session feeling really raw and exposed and unsafe. And that kind of re-exposure is traumatizing. And so one of the things about energy psychology, and those of us who practice it, is that we have all these tools to make sure that when people at the end of a session, people feel better, they feel more knit together, they feel brighter and lighter, around whatever particular piece they were working on. And so it really, there are many, many profound gifts from energy psychology for clients and for practitioners. And, but that's to me, one of the really important ones. Another one is the fact that it's really self-empowering. And so that was one of the first things that excited me about it, was that once you know these skills and these techniques, then you can use them on your own. You don't have to wait to go to somebody else who's going to help you feel better. You begin to realize you now have the tools within you to help yourself really feel better, not push it away, not shove it down, eat it down, drink it away, or, but really to be able to move through it. So has always been really important to me. I want to say, there's something else I want to say, but I'm not sure what it is now, but I did want to say that partly we're doing this video in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May. It has been in May every year since 1949. That's really a long time that we've been aware of the importance of doing what we can, coming together in this country to help improve the mental health of our people. And along those lines, one of the things I want to say is that oftentimes there's a stigma around going to therapy. There's a stigma around mental health, being that if you have mental health issues, then you must have mental illness. And that is not a belief that I hold. I think probably it's not a belief that most of us here hold, that there are things, life can be very traumatizing, very upsetting, very disorganizing, very disruptive, very stressful in all kinds of different ways, and that has an impact on our mental health. And so rather than stigmatize, we are all in this together, right? All of us here have gone through our own trauma. We've come out of, we've gone through our own trauma, and we've really come out on the other side of it. And so all that, the magnificence of our spirit that Kristen so beautifully, just exhibits, right? and speaks about, is something that we have all recovered through the work that we've done. FREA, this is the other thing I wanted to say. Going to the FREA site, we have fantastic tools to help you in the moment to be able to process trauma, anxiety, depression, stress, to be able to let it go, to bring yourself back to more center. But FREA in itself, the website in itself, is not enough to heal you from trauma, right? That's our heart. That's our heart. But trauma helps give you tools that help you on the path, right? We're not trying to say that you can come to FREA and it'll do everything for you, right? So I just want to make that clarity, or I want to be clear about that. But that our tools are wonderful, and I really encourage anybody and everybody to check them out, because you will be amazed. So,
Yeah.
So, yes, Robin?
Yeah, so thank you. I love this group that is FREA, and we are all professionals in trauma. I am a trauma coach and a trauma therapist, trauma recovery coach, as well as having been a therapist for a lot of years. And I found, first of all, these techniques in this process able to help me with the traumas that I had growing up in a home where there was a lot of dysfunction. Let's put it that way. And so we all don't just talk about our clients, quote unquote, and what's possible. We come from knowing that healing is possible. We hold that strength and that belief, and we can offer support or even referrals to people who want to do some more work or some deeper work with this. But we really believe that all trauma is healable. And we're here from our own personal experience to define that. So thank you so much for this conversation. It's just a start. We're going to be getting together regularly and introducing different techniques and support that have helped us and can help others. And we encourage you to check out our website, and we'd love to stay in contact with you. So thank you very much.
Mhm.
And, you know,
And our Facebook page. Let me just throw that in. We have a website, FREA.support is the website. And then FREA, FREA, is the Facebook group. So join us there. Okay,
Right.
Kristen.
And I just wanted to just interject, Robin. You know, when we go through a terrible interpersonal trauma, which is what abuse is, we oftentimes lose sight of any possibility that healing can happen. But we also lose sight of our own goodness.
Good point. Yeah.
And I spend day after day with trauma survivors, and I too am an abuse survivor. And I know that as we get in touch with ourselves and have some skills, that these people that have sustained quite a lot of really difficult abuse that I serve, including myself, are the most magnificent, resourceful people underneath all of that. And it starts to shine through right away, even if all you got is a little tapping video from FREA. Do you know what I mean? Because as you tap and come to meet yourself in a loving way, you'll get a little shine through. You'll see just a little thread of that magnificence, that birthday magic you talk about. Because really, birthdays is about the birth of ourself, right? The birth of our being, our magnificence.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might not be ready to always get to be on the therapy route, but you still can practice a little. And then you'll see, oh, I want to come and have a beautiful therapist who can celebrate my inner being, not just diagnose me as having a mental health issue. So that's what I just add. And I love this team because we are all just the most delightful people. And we all know what it's like to have our light covered over with trauma. And what it's like when our light starts to shine again, our light, our love, our amazing beings.
And I want to kind of add to that some of you listening to this might feel like it's too big a stretch to think about my magnificent being, or to even think about loving myself and I'm doing this lovingly, right? Because a lot of people who are traumatized, one of the things, trauma really fragments us on the inside. And to your point, Kristen, about you lose sight of your own goodness, you lose sight of your own lovability, right? You're so so much of the angst, I can't think of the word I want, is turned inward and against ourselves. And so it's very common for trauma survivors to feel like I can't say the words I love myself. That's too upsetting to me, right? I can't yet believe in my magnificence. So what we want you to know is that this is a journey, it's a path, and you will come to a point. Sometimes I say there's like this tipping point where you start out and you're like, oh, I don't want to have to do this. Like, I really don't want to do this. I'm not looking forward to this, right? But I'm going to do it, and it's going to be hard. And so most people start that way. They're anxious, they're nervous, they don't know what's going to happen. And you get into it, and all of a sudden you start having these experiences where you let go of so much weight or heaviness or doubt or angst or negativity that it's like you just open up, there's this shift. And that shift too, which is partway through the process, is something that's available to everybody. So just
Holly, yes,
yeah.
I do agree. We often feel an inner sense of brokenness, and there comes a point, certainly for me, when I realize I am not broken. I never was broken. I felt broken, and people at least encouraged me to feel broken, but actually I'm not, I wasn't, and I shan't be. And it might be a steep path at sometimes, it has been, but it's the climbs have been rewarding. So yes, join with us, folks.
And let's just do that. Let's cross our hands over about 3 inches from the middle of the collarbone, and just make little circles with your fingers. And let's just try it out. There might be a possibility that I could learn to love and accept myself as is, with all of my magnificence and all of my distress. And maybe I'm not ready yet to fully love myself and to celebrate and to shine my light all over. But there might be a possibility that I could have some acceptance and love for myself. And I'm open to a new relationship with myself that is gentle and accepting, and maybe something different than I have ever known. And just take a breath into that and let go. You want to stay in this position, Holly? Sorry.
Yeah, I want to add something. Yeah, which is, and I choose to believe that it is possible for me to love myself. I choose to believe that I am worthy of love. I choose to believe that I never was and never will be broken, right? I choose to believe it is safe for me to change my relationship with this. It is safe for me to love myself, and I absolutely deserve to be able to feel the wondrousness of loving myself, and to feel my own brilliance and my own magnificence and my own beauty.
Yes, folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the birthday present, right? The beginning of the birthday present.
So see how you feel. Take a moment. We're always saying, like, now take a moment. We just did something. We just went through a process. So take a moment and see what you notice about how you feel about yourself, and how does it feel to be loving to yourself now. Notice what's different. There might still be some resistance there, but notice where you're more open. Notice where it does seem more possible. Notice maybe where your heart does seem a little lighter. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the energy is leaking out my sides now. Like
Okay.
it's shining out the sides. That's what I feel. I feel much more calmer. Like it's coming out my spleen meridian, actually. I don't know. How about you? How do you feel, David?
I feel pretty good. I'm really glad we've had this conversation, I must say, and been able to share it as well as among ourselves with other people, because that really, really matters.
Mm.
And I
And
hope
so
we'll
let
have
us-
more conversations.
Yeah. Let us know. You know, this is on YouTube and other places. So let us know in comments how you feel, like what this video was like for you. And if you feel called to do that. But have a beautiful, beautiful day.
And if
it
you
was
know,
wonderful to have. Go ahead, sorry, Robin. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
no problem. If you know anyone else who is suffering from trauma or abuse, please feel free to pass this on. And we will be introducing different processes and techniques as we go along. So thank you, everyone. Go ahead, Kristen.
I don't know. I forgot. I absolutely forgot.
Yes.
But let's rub our hands together so that we can close it out, unless somebody has something else to say. Does anybody have anything to say? Okay. Let's rub our hands together. Put one hand on your heart, on the top of the other, at the center of your chest, and let's breathe that energy, that love in. And one more breath in. And just letting our beautiful hearts sink into that love, that energy. And then let's rub our hands together again. And let's face our palms out and send that energy out to each other as you breathe out. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you to each and every one of you. I so appreciate it.
Likewise.
Blessings. Thank you.